wanted to do one called You Don't Lose Faith by Learning More. The reason why is because a lot of times in most of the correspondence I have with a lot of people who are various religions, usually Christian or some form of transition between Christian and Judaism, one thing that I've noticed is that whenever new information that they weren't familiar with winds up getting passed down, especially if the way that you word it is, well, any set of encyclopedias can show this or can show that, it seems like if one detail of what's believed is found out to be inaccurate or inappropriate or outright false at some point in history, people somehow think that they're losing everything. They're losing a foundation of belief. They're losing a concept of, there's a Almighty or there's a Moshiach, or whatever it is that they believe in. And I really feel that to learn more is not to lose faith, it's to gain it. How can you figure you're losing your belief by learning more about it? What if some writings are true when it says you're led and guided by His Spirit into the full knowledge of the truth? What if you're not right about absolutely everything? And then what does that mean? That means that little by little along the way you're going to be led and guided into more information. And the information will wind up being more and more accurate, and more of the things that were not accurate will be put into its appropriate place. And so when people fight against information, they're fighting a losing battle because it can be proven. It's right in encyclopedias, dictionaries, history books, different things like that. What is the fight against then? Stability? Security? I don't understand that. For me, learning more way back when was so exciting that I almost danced. I mean, I felt inside such a joy and an excitement even in learning things that I had not known, that it was like leaping from a stall as a calf. I've read that somewhere. It was a very exciting and wonderful thing. I was pleased by it. I wasn't shaken or scared or reduced to rubble. You don't lose faith by learning more. You should gain more faith. Or, as I explained to one person today, I've been corresponding back and forth in writing literally all day long with someone, and every new bit of information that was presented, it seemed to do some sort of cataclysmic shock to the system or something. As if to question one detail or facet of a belief was to question the entire existence of their faith in a God or a Messiah figure or something like that. How is that? Why is that? Be willing to examine the information and the details to find out what's right or wrong. It should not be that freaky, So it's a short one. That's all I wanted to say was you don't lose faith by learning more. It should be a growing of faith. For instance, learning the identity or the name of the Almighty, or the identity and name of the rabbi 2,000 years ago. To learn these details, to understand them, is empowering. It's like a privilege, really. a wonderful privilege. It's not that you're abandoning a belief. You just find out who he really is. You find out what his name really is. You find out what the identities are, what the belief system is, or you know. Uh, it doesn't mean that all of your prayers since you were a child have gone unanswered or unheard. Someone wrote to me earlier today saying, well, if that's not who he is, then who's been hearing my prayers? No one, but some of them were answered. Was I praying to the enemy? They asked me. I was like, well, if you're his, you're in a process. You're being led and guided, and he understands and accepts people's positions for where they're at. It's not like you're just born instantly with all the knowledge crammed into your head by your very nature itself. Walking along the way. But it would be highly dangerous at some point, with all of the experiences that motivated someone to hop from stone to stone across a river. You can't say, well, this experience that I experienced that caused me to move to the next stone must prove that the stone I'm standing on is the right stone. When the reality is you're supposed to be on the other side of the riverbank and you're being led and guided to hop across the stones to get to the other side. From one end to the other. You can't just stop. When high tide comes, whoosh, gone. Being led and guided along the way, you know. Alright, I'll just go ahead and stop. Basically, that's the whole premise, is you don't lose faith by learning more. And learning is a process throughout life, and we won't stop. There's just so